Join me right now back on the show is newly signed one championship lightweight, Antonio Caruso. What's going on, Tony?
What's going on, bro?
Not much, man. Let's talk about this, man. You got signed to one championship. Was the contracts always in the works since your last fight? Was this something that you had to go through and kind of search for?
Yeah, so after my last fight, we had some contact with one through Picker Top Team. They got into contact with them for me, and there was interest shown by one in signing me. And then luckily enough, I was in Singapore with a friend of mine cornering a friend of mine, Alan Philpott, for the One Warrior series. And I ended up having an actual sit down and a meeting with Chatru himself. And we ended up having a good meeting and a good interview, I assume. And he offered me a contract, and here we are today.
Do you have a manager, or do you manage yourself?
So I'm pretty much managed like myself, but I've got a team. So I've got a team of my brother, who's my lawyer, and then I've got a few other guys who do. I've got a strong unit, with my design team. My brother who helps me with all that sort of gear. And then I've got my accountant. So, we've got a strong team. We've been building this team for the last couple of years. But, it's sort of, in a way, self-managed, you know what I mean? I feel like I make the best manager. So I trust myself.
Let's go back to your brother, because you have a couple brothers. You have a brother that you mentioned. He's a lawyer. You're a fighter. Then you have one other brother that is a TV host, and I don't know, what do you consider him? A comedian or a rock star, or what is he?
You know what he is? He's just a straight up ass kicker, man. He just kicks life's ass, man. Honestly, he does. He's on another level, man. Like, I don't even know what he's doing half the time. So he's a crazy out there sort of guy. We all come from a martial art fighting background, so. Even the lawyer brother, he had Diego, that's his name. He's had 3 fights in the cage, got a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. And then my brother Sav, or commonly known as Sub, he's also a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's had 4 MMA fights as well. But man, he's just a guy. He just literally lives second by second. He was over here with me recently, while I was training, and now he's actually in Jamaica. And then then he's off to Mexico, and then he's off to Las Vegas, he was telling me today. So, he's a wild one, that guy, that's for sure.
Yes, if anybody has not checked out Seb's show, go on Facebook, YouTube, wherever he's at. Check it out, because it's interesting, crazy, man.
Yeah, man. And in a way, I like his philosophy in life. Just live, man. Do what you want to do. Live how you want to live. Don't live by restrictions of what people tell you should do, how you should live. So I give him credit for that, you know what I mean? And he's a guy that got me started in all this, and, so I've got to thank him.
So he's an inspiration for you.
Oh, yeah, man, definitely. Me and him were very close growing up. I mean, still to this day, we've traveled the world together, we've fought together, like I said, he was the one who brought me into the gym, man. Like, he's the one, I was playing football and I didn't want to do it anymore, and he's the one that got me into jiu-jitsu, then he literally forced me to do my first MMA fight, and man, so in a way I've got to thank him for all of this where we are today.
Well, 7 fights in, you got a new contract with one championship, you're undefeated. I know you did a lot of your training in Phuket and in your home country of Australia. Now you are at Hard Knocks 365. How did you end up there? What's the connection?
So it's a long connection, actually. I was living in Liverpool, England, and training at Aspire in Liverpool, and I was able to meet and train with Danny Roberts, who signed with the UFC. And when I signed with one, Alan, who's close with Danny, his roommate, was his best mate to him, ended up contacting him, and then Danny got in contact with me and said, "Yeah, man, I heard you got signed." He said, "I'll get you out here and get you a shot, like to try it for the team." And man, I jumped on it. Literally, he called me Wednesday, and I was in Florida by, I think, like 4 days later. I was in Florida training, and and then I was able to meet Henry and all the guys down here, and loved it. I literally loved Florida. I loved the team. I loved the gym, and I was I'm rapt to be here and very excited for the future. Very excited.
So it was Alan Philpott connected to Aspire. You go to Aspire. Danny
Well,
Roberts
no,
is
no, no,
there.
no, no. I met Alan through Aspire. So you know what I mean. So I met all
Oh,
those boys in Aspire, and then Alan, who I was with when I got the contract, his roommate. His roommate is one of Danny's best mates. We got the contract, you know. So it's a long one, yeah. And then that's
yeah.
Danny and me. I've known Danny since the Liverpool days, and yeah, and Danny was able to get me to come out here and try out, and yeah, and now I'm part of the team and loving it.
Yeah, it just shows you, man, that in this community, in the MMA community, you can make connections, and those connections can connect you to the next connection, and
Yeah,
and then you never
exactly.
know where it can lead you.
Yeah, 100%, and that's why I think it's a big thing too. And always be legit and always be real. And then that to me, that's it's been a good, nice person, everyone I can possibly meet, and try and spread positivity, man. And hey, look, you know what I mean. It's hard, I think it's harder to be an asshole than it is to be a good bloke. So you be a good nice to everyone. You never know that turns around and can be what leads you on to your next story, your next chapter. So yeah, take a bit of positivity out of every day, and who knows, yeah, what can happen.
How was the tryout process for the team at Hard Knocks?
Oh man, pretty straightforward. Like just jump in and just start working. You know what I mean? They kept an eye on you, and I mean it's not like it's an actual try. It's just get involved and do you gel with the team? Because that's one of the best things about Hard Knocks. It's great that you got all the big names here, but the best thing is the team environment. Honestly, it's a very cool, unique, like strong team emphasis. Man, everyone really gets involved with one another. They're always watching each other's fights. They're always wanting to help one another. It's honestly like been very like uplifting and positive for me to see at the highest level that these guys how much they interact with one another, and it's a team, man. And make sure love going to the training every day, and training with one another, because all you want to do is get each other better, stronger, and then at the same time you want to see each other succeed.
Another Aussie that has made the move to Hard Knocks 365, who is also currently fighting for one championship, is Martin Nguyen. When you got there, you saw each other. You guys probably had a kind of a little connection, right? Because you guys are
Yeah,
flying
for
all the way
sure.
across the world.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know what I mean? Like I was a big fan of Martin's coming into it, and it was great. I got to meet him at Hard Knocks, and yeah, now me and Martin, get along very well. Obviously, being two Aussie guys, and I want to look up to, man, and I aspire to, to be just as good as him, man. And I was able, luckily enough, to go to his last fight in Manila, and and watch him up close, man, and see the beast that he really is, man. So that was cool, and now it's great, like I said, man, to work alongside him and feed off of him, get his energy and see how he prepares, how he does it, and and be in the inner circle with him, and yeah, it's amazing, man. So I'm like I said, I'm loving it out of here. I love the positivity, and yeah, it's I'm excited, like I said.
Well, you're making your debut October 25th in Jakarta, one championship Dawn of Valor. Training camp for this fight. I think you've been out at Hard Knocks for a while. What has the training camp been like? Who have you been working with?
Oh man, it's been honestly the best. Like I know everyone says this, but yeah, the best camp by far. Like the most professional, the most structured, the most like ready I've ever been in my life, man. And yeah, in terms of training partners, you're talking, the who's who of the MMA world. Guys like I was able to spar with guys like Robbie Lawler, Martin Nguyen. Work alongside guys like Angla. You know what I mean? The list goes on, and then there's a lot of young and up and coming talented fighters through the American scene, guys that I work with and that I live with, and so yeah, the list is just long, man, and you just every day on the mat with just absolute killers. That's what's the best thing, like absolute like beasts. That's what I love about it. So yeah, definitely, it's definitely been. I think it's going to be the best, strongest me that you'll ever see. So I'm excited.
Is it almost surreal for you to be there sparring with Robbie? A name like Robbie Lawler.
Oh,
It's like
yeah, for
the
sure, man.
fighter's fighter.
Yeah, man. Like I'm not gonna lie, the first week or two when I came over previously, it was you come in and you see these guys and you're like, man, I'm a kid from Adelaide. You know what I mean? Like I'm not supposed to be on the same mat as these sort of guys. You know what I mean? And then you start doing your work, and you're like, man, these guys are great, yeah. But hey, they were just like me one day, man. They were just some kid trying to make it through the ranks, and that's what it is. And that's what's great at the gym. Like I said, the team environment. These guys help you. You know what I mean? They communicate with you. They get on your level. They probably see a bit of them in you. You know what I mean? And yeah, of course, it's daunting, man. Like when Robbie's like, "Oh, you want to do a round?" and you're like, "Oh shit, man." But at the same time, there's only one way to get respect in this game. You're not given respect, you earn respect. So you go in there, you be respectful. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you put some effort on the line, and you show these guys, hey man, I'm not here to be a fanboy. I'm not here to ask for an autograph. I'm here to to do my job. You know what I mean? I want to be just like you, man. I want to be the guy. So yeah.
It's great that those guys give you that opportunity to kind of gain that respect. And then
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier that your camp is more professional. Everybody says that they have the best camp, but the
Yeah.
key word is, I believe, is professional. How professional your camp has been, that also gives you that confidence. So having this professional camp, having the training partners that you have now, you're a confident guy already, but what is the confidence level for you heading into this fight?
Honestly, like I've never looked forward to a fight. Like I've always been like, man, I don't want to fight again. But now I'm like, man, let's do this. Like, hurry! I'm counting the seconds. Like, let's get that cage door closed because I am literally just buzzing to put on a show for like the world, to let everybody know that that I'm here. Like, this is me. This is who I am. I'm on the world stage. This is where I belong. And yeah, I'm buzzing. So I've got so much confidence through training with those sorts of guys and holding my own. And sometimes only holding your own, but winning the rounds and landing the submissions and landing the shots on these high level guys, like I said, that you watch and you would never even imagine to meet. And now you're doing this sort of stuff with them, and you're like, man, maybe I do have what it takes, and that belief. So that's the biggest thing I've taken out of this is so much confidence in this sort of stuff. And at the same time, being put in horrible areas where you're with some of the best wrestlers in the world, some of the best strikers, and you come out the other side and you're like, yeah, man, it ain't this bad. That guy, I respect my opponent massively, and that's why I'm putting in this work. I've flown all the way around the world. There's nothing but respect for him. But he ain't doing what I'm doing, and he ain't these guys that I'm working with. So, that's where I get all my confidence from. And yeah, I just can't wait for October 25th.
You're jumping into the lightweight division. A few years back, worldwide, people probably didn't really know about the division as they do now because of, Eddie Alvarez, Doggy. Johnny Nunez is actually debuting on the same night as you. He's
Yeah.
from the Ultimate Fighter. A slew of names, man. And you get to go in there as a young guy, a prospect. What kind of path do you want to take in this lightweight division? Are you set on like, okay, I gotta fight the biggest fights immediately, or are you just thinking like, okay, I'm just gonna take it one fight at a time. It doesn't matter how fast I get there, I'm gonna get there.
For me, man, I've always said never concentrate on the destination, just enjoy the journey, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, I'm so pumped that I got signed for one man. A lot of people say to me, meet in the US and around the world, oh, but is your eventual plan to get in the UFC? And man, no, it's not in my plan, man. My plan is to go as far as I can with ONE FC. I really like ONE FC. I really like Chatri. I really like the organisation. I like every fight I've met from ONE. I've got nothing but respect for them. So yeah, I just want to enjoy my journey with ONE, and I want to grow with them, man. I want to be a superstar with ONE, and because I think ONE are going to be the next big thing, man. Like they're coming fast, and they're doing it the right way. They're doing it for the sport. They're doing it for what I mean, like everything that I think we should stand for as martial artists. Not like it's not about, to me, it's not about trash talk. Hey, don't get me wrong, man. It's entertaining. I enjoy watching these guys. I love watching that Diaz and all. I love it. But at the same time, that's not my style, and that's why I like ONE, because they encourage you to say, what, boys, let's just put on a show. Let's be martial artists, and they encourage that. That's why I'm really excited to be working with ONE, and I'm excited to see the future with them and how far I can get with them, and yeah, I'm really happy to be there.
You got guys like Martin, now you've been signed. You got a couple other fighters coming up in Australia. Australia has so much talent. New Zealand has so much talent, man, like that has not been signed yet. hopefully,
Mhm.
I'm hoping that one championship goes into Australia, and this is the start of
Mm.
it. You getting signed, of
Yeah,
them just gathering up all the talent on that continent, and kind of
that island.
infusing it into the championships divisions. You know what I mean? The weight
Yeah,
divisions that they have. Have you heard anything? Of one championship kind of doing an event on Australia, or them kind of targeting
nah.
some of the fighters?
I haven't heard anything about the Australian scene. I'm sure you've heard about, they're doing a big push into Europe, big push into America. So I'm sure that's their main focus at the moment. But yeah, I mean, of course, I'd love for them to get into Australia, man, and guys like myself and Martin to be, the faces of the of the Australian Army going in, man. Like you said, because there is a huge talent of Australian guys out there, and they just need those opportunities, man. So, it'd be good if it does go to Australia because then we get to see more Aussies, and that's my dream, man, to see, one day a place like Hard Knocks 365 being in little old Adelaide, you know what I mean? A place where, 5, 6, top level guys are coming out of my city. So, I want to, draw the blueprint for not only South Australians, but for Australians to say it can be done, man. You know what I mean? You just, like we said earlier, you have to make the right connections, meet the right people, know who you're speaking to, because if you don't get yourself out there and meet those right people, it's going to be a hard world, because it's about, connecting with the right, fighters, coaches, managers, and yeah, and eventually you can hopefully head down the right path and have people signed, and yeah, like you see the Australian show on the weekend was amazing, man. There's definitely the Australians love the fighting game, and so who knows?
Yeah, man. Definitely keep an open mind. Spread the seed and make connections. It's what you need to do in
Yeah,
this game, man. I'm
exactly.
I'm happy that you got signed. I'm looking forward to your debut in this promotion, October 25th. One Dawn of Valor, Jakarta, Indonesia. Antonio, man, it's always good speaking with you. It's kind of
Man, my
crazy that
pleasure.
last time we spoke, you were in Australia, and now you are
Yeah,
all the way across the world in
that's
Florida,
it, man.
USA, man. But it's
That's
great.
it, man. Now, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your time, and I love what you're doing, man, for the sport and for all the fighters. And yeah, man, I can't wait. It's exciting. So make sure you tune in October 25th, and you see me get ready to take over the world.